Howdy folks, welcome to the brewery. Brew day. Straight into things today, no sit down having a chat, we're going to do it while we're on the fly. So today I'm brewing up the second batch of beer for the daughter's wedding. So this is going to be a Brut IPA. This is a style I've brewed a few times now. I normally, here we fucking go. Let's get some clips on it. I normally split it down into a do a split batch, and I do half of it to Brut IPA and do half as a India Pale Lager. But because it's for the wedding, we're doing a full batch. So that also means I've had to make some changes to the recipe, because normally I run this quite high with the gravity to allow for the lager following it up. And so I normally end up with a beer of around 6.5% ABV. That's a bit stingy for the wedding, considering the wife has requested this beer for herself, and I think some of the ladies might like having a nice light easy drinking beer. So I had to pull the recipe back to get it into a more comfortable level. So anyway, we're getting in, let's get into it, let's get it happening. I've got 30.5 litres of water in the nano. I'm looking for a total of around 31, so that gives me enough, a little bit of room for a bit of a sparge. So full volume brew in a bag with just enough to rinse the grain left over. Grains, because fuck knows you can't make beer without grains. Well, you can, but there's just other ways of doing it. But anyway, in this case, we're using grain. 2 kilos of Voyager Atlas, 800 grams of Voyager Valoria. I only just changed that at the very last minute, just as I was weighing the grains up. Because I hadn't sort of thought, with the lower ABV, it's potentially going to be a very light body. So I was thinking I'd just do an extended boil, but that will knock the volume around. So I've added, it was initially, the Atlas was 70% of the grain bill. I've cut it back to 50 to 2 kilos and added that 800 grams, which is 20% of the malt bill in Valoria. So it'll give us a little bit extra colour when we'll boost the malt profile, and give us a little bit of body, as much as we can put body into a beer which is going to be realistically quite light by design. The remainder of the grain bill is 600 grams each of flaked rice and 600 grams of flaked corn, and they've just been added straight into the milled grains. And in they go. Water is sitting, well, was sitting at 68 degrees or thereabouts. I'm hoping for about 65 degrees. And that's where we are, 65, 65.1, beautiful. So that's exactly what I'm after. Pop that on there. I'm not running any recirculation or carrying on. I still haven't got my recirculation sorted. I will certainly endeavour to have that up and going properly on my next brew. But for now, it's going to run this nice and simple. So I'm going to let this run for 20 minutes, give it a stir, check the temperature, throw the element back on if needed, and I'll do that every 20 minutes for an hour. And then we'll pull the bag. So I've added a good whack of calcium chloride to the water. in a 3:1 ratio against some gypsum, just a little bit of magnesium, and that's about it. A good whack of lactic. I'll put probably 20% more lactic in here than I normally would. I've just looking to drag the pH down a little more than I normally start at. I normally start by recipe about 5.35, 5.4. This is starting about 5.1. I haven't checked it, but I will do that, and if I remember, I'll give you a bit of an update when we sit down and talk about the hops. But for now, that's where we're at. A little bit of calcium with sorbate, vitamin C powder, initially to the water, and just a tiny little bit of sodium met to neutralise any chlorine. So that's it, up and going. So I'll see you shortly as we see this is progressing, probably somewhere around mid-match. Right, 20 minutes in. Just ran the element for about 2 minutes just to keep our level steady, and I shouldn't max that just yet. It's a good sample for a pH test. I've just done a test on the original, and it's down started about 512. So I'd be surprised if we aren't in that target we're looking for. I'll let that go a bit longer now. Rightio, mash is done. I've let it run for about an extra 15 minutes as we hadn't quite hit target gravity. Was running a little bit low, so just let the mash keep on going. Gave it a good couple of stirs, and we got the target. So that's all good. We're sitting at 1034, looking for 1032 pre-boil. Calculators tell me by the time I add my 1.7 litres of rinse water, we will be pretty much bang on 1032. So pretty happy with that. So we're going to get this bag out now. Get it draining and coming up to a boil. I checked before, pH was good, about 5.1. So I'm happy with that. Nice easy grain bag to deal with today. Only what was there? 2.8, 4 kilo grain. Instead of 5.5, it normally wouldn't be even 6. Rinse this through. And I'm going to leave this to drain while I go and make some lunch for me and the lovely Mrs. Littlejohn. And time I've got that done, it should be pretty much up to a boil. And we'll check our pre-boil volume at that point. And then we'll have a look at the boil and hopping process. All good. The element's on. Coming to a boil. Well, we've got plenty of volume in there anyway. Alright, see you soon. Alright, just coming to a boil. Just on a hydro reading. 1034, and a little bit over volume, so we got better efficiency than I had calculated. I had knocked target efficiency from 72 down to 67. Potentially could have left it where it was, but anyway, that's all good. Only two points over, so that's not too bad. That's all good. I'll let that do its thing, and we'll go and talk some hops. Righto. But boil is underway. I said, yeah. That's it, on 1034 it is. As a fraction more, it's probably close to 1033. Let's get a temperature on it, just make sure it's right. They're going to come on. Helps if it turns on. Yeah, no, it's only 24 degrees, so that's pretty close. So, okay, we'll call it 1030, 1033. Pre-boil. We were looking for 28 litres on the calculator recipe. I've got 32. It's possibly closer to 31, allowing for expansion, but we'll wait and see. But I'm not too worried about being a little bit over volume, that's never an issue. Like I said, the final ABV is going to depend a lot on where we finish, and part of that's going to be using dry enzyme to get us down to our final gravity, and that's what the Brut IPA is that getting that dry finish. So you can see she's fairly light. There's never a lot going on. I think it's just a simple base malt. Generally it's just a simple Pilsner malt with some corn and some rice. So there's nothing to really add some colour. So what we're looking at with the enzyme is that we're looking for an estimated final gravity of about 1.002. That's sort of where I always have finished that. Whether that pushes a little bit lower, because we are starting at around, it's going to be around 1036, 1038 instead of around 1050 where I normally would be starting when I've done the Brut IPA previously. So it may come down a little bit, so that's going to depend. We're looking for 4.6% is gravity as per the original recipe, so we might pick up an extra 2 points of gravity up front, even if we pick up an extra 2 points at the end. I'll go 2 points lower. Still going to get us around 5%, which is, I'm happy with that. I think I'd rather it be around the mid fours. Just for the wedding, but 5%, got no problem with that. I mean, that's not not turning people still in any great amount of hurry. So hopping, hops are there'll be 11 grams of Citra Lovely, nice stuff just coming from Kev Bristol, the hopping mechanism. The 11 grams of Citra for 12 IBUs, that will go in with 20 minutes to go in the boil. It's an hour-long boil, and actually it's probably been boiling now for about, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 minutes. I don't know if I just started the timer now, so it's going to boil just a little bit over that hour, but that's the mark. And I wouldn't be skipping the full boil on the style if you're doing it, because it's part of developing the malt flavour of the beer. As it is, it's quite light. There's not a real lot there, so the hour-long boil is fairly important to concentrate that water a little bit, and get some of that maltiness coming up, because it's not going to stay behind once that enzyme does its job. But anyway, so Citra at 20, then Nectaron. First of all, I've not used Nectaron before. Kev's just got some fresh out of New Zealand. This was originally, I think, Hort 4337 by memory, top of my head. Yeah. Bloody wolf. So this is a fairly new hop. I've had a lovely beer from Big Shed Brewing, which was 100 single hopped IPA. There was an IPA, Heavy Pale. Either way, it was single hop in the Nectaron. It was really nice. So that's new for this brew. Previous 2 Bruts I've done, I've had very different hopping regimes. So I'm not too worried about this. This is going to work quite nice. It's going to give us some nice, fresh, citrusy, and there's the Nectaron. The descriptors are tropical pineapple, passion fruit, and stone fruit. That's going to go nicely with some, the citrus tones from the Citra. So 40 grams of Nectaron in a 20-minute hot stand at 90 degrees. That's going to get me about 14 IBU, get us about 26 all up. And again, that's less than I've run previous batches. I've done at 29 and 32 IBU. But again, I think with the lower ABV and the less, sort of a bit less malt, I've toned it down a little bit. I think that's going to be quite fine. Pale ale, like sort of pale ale-ish, heavy and pale ale sort of territory. Then I'll be dry hopping 20 grams of each of these on day 5. So give us a nice finish out. So there's going to be a reasonable amount of hop presence, but not an excessive amount. 40 grams, it's not even 2 grams a litre in the final beer, so it's reasonably light. More using that late hot boil and the whirlpool to give us the flavours, and just using that dry hop just to finish it off with some nice nose and stuff to bring it through. So that's how that'll go. So we'll have a look when we popping them in along the way. Citra in, 20 minutes to go, and drop in a half a wall block and half a teaspoon of yeast nutrient. It's good for the yeast. Righto. Boil's done. Chilling went in with about 10 minutes to go. I've turned the elements off about 5 minutes ago. Just let this sit. The chiller is not actually running at the moment. I'm going to drop in this hop stand hop. Now, I said 90 minutes on the recipe, I've got 90 minutes, but I'm not actually going to drop the temperature. I'm just setting this straight in as it is. And there we go, all good. So I'm just going to drop these in. This is where it's handy of the hoses were connected, and we could actually whirl through. But I'll just I'll give this a stir every 5 minutes for the next 20, and then put the chiller on. Okay, boil is finished. Let's get this transfer on. Righto folks, transfer is completed. Got about a tad over 23 litres into the fermenter, and I shut it down at that point, so I'm not sure exactly how much is left, but I'd imagine I could probably have got another litre out of it had I wanted to. But I'm happy with 23 into the all-rounder. Any more than that starts getting a bit iffy on headspace. So I'm going to call that about 10:39. 3 points over target gravity, which I said I'm pretty happy with that, which means, well, we'll have a look here what the efficiency ended up at. And helps if you put the right amount. 23, 72%. So we actually got the 72, which was there initially. So should have just stuck with the number. I've probably adjusted that from a full volume batch. But anyway, that's all good. I'm happy with that. Everything went smoothly. No dramas, which is a little bit uncommon. Nothing went awry. Okay, yeah, tastes as where you expect. There's a little bit of hop there, but not a huge amount. It's a nice little touch there, bit of sweet malt. So I think that's going to come along nice. Colours. That was good. It's nice, and I mean it's a pale. I know not every Brut IPA you're going to come across is going to be that pale, but I think for me, for what it is, that's how it should. That's how I think it should present anyway. So about to pitch this. 1 pack of US-05, because I've only got 1 packet. Ideally I'd pitch a little bit more on it, but yeah, 1039, it is reasonably low, but given we're going to bung that fella in with it, 3 grams of glucoamylase, the old dry enzyme, I think the two working together going to chew away that without any problem. I had sort of thought to go Nottingham, and I put Nottingham in when I was writing up the recipe. I've always used 05 before for these, but it turned out it didn't actually have Nottingham dry in the fridge. We've obviously used it and not taken it out of the inventory. So that's where we're going. So I'm going to go and pitch these now, get this into the fridge. Ferment will be 18 days, 18 degrees initially for 5 days, at which point we'll drop that dry hop, which was 20 grams each of the Citra and the Nectaron. I'll raise the temp then for 3 days. Well, the plan is for 3 days at 21 degrees for a 2-day cold crash for a 10-day turnaround, but we will see how we go. We'll turn on what the gravity is like on day 5, whether I'm ready to drop the dry hop at that point. But we will see how that runs, but that's the plan at the moment. So yeah, so that's it. Then this one will sit in the keg once it's done till the wedding in late November. So I'm hoping there'll be enough here I can actually get a keg off and I can get a couple of bottles so I can do an actual tasting on this one. The XP80 for the wedding, I didn't get any bottles off it. They ended up a little bit shorter on the volume. So if I can't get a tasting on it until closer to the wedding, when I can actually get the keg cold and cast up. So I've got to wait for that. This one I would expect we'll get a taster on towards the end of October. But for now, things are going along nicely. So any comments or any questions, stick them down the bottom. As always, thumbs up to all the patrons and supporters of the channel. There's links down the bottom to Patreon if you're interested. Jump on, have a look, help the channel out, lets me play around, do experiments and stuff and try different things out. If you aren't subscribed, hit the subscribe button down there. That way you'll get notified when there's a new video, you don't miss anything. And give me a thumbs up. But anyway, for now, I'm gone. So, till I see you again, brew and beer, drinking beer or talking beer, good brewing.